The home of the common Joe and the common Sally in the know, even more so than all those media talking heads. Going into week 2 of the college football season. You could say 2.5 because, week 0. Once again, that's a stupid ass thing to call it. But I digress. Now, we're going to have a little early Heisman talk here today, class. Yeah, I know it's a little early to start talking Heisman before we get the negative Nancy's in here crying about that. But let's just have a conversation here. Just a conversation piece to get us through the week. If you had to name a top 3 right now, class, who would it be? Drop it in the comment section. Let's talk about it. Well, here we are again. Another episode of the OCF. That's me, the Outlaw of College Football, also known as JPC. That's right. And I can also be located on Twitter at OCF Productions and on Facebook under Jesse Paul Clark, spelled Jesse with no I. So let's get right into it, class. Who would your top 3 be right now? Yes, I know. Once again, it's early, and I keep saying that because you're going to get those pansies that's going to come in here and cry about, you're talking about the Heisman too early. We're just having a conversation. Don't get your diapers wet. Your players got plenty of time to come on and take up the Heisman torch. But right now, your top 3. My third right now would be Bryce Young. He had a pretty good day. He had 195 yards. That's sort of pedestrian compared to some of his past passing numbers, but he added 100 yards rushing. That's the key. Over 295 yards total offense, and he's responsible for like 5, maybe 6 touchdowns, I think. Something like that. But anyway, he's responsible for a hell of a lot of touchdowns as well. And that's why I put him number 3. The passing yards could have maybe knocked him out of the top 3. But those rushing yards and him finally seeing where the happy medium is as far as being able to rush the ball and pass the ball, it's pretty damn good. Number 2, Anthony Richardson of Florida. He came out and played ball and showed that he can be consistent. That's the thing with Anthony, is he'll be consistent for one game. And then he'll come along and have another game where he's not consistent and he has a pretty bad game. So now we're going to get to see. We're going to get to see if Anthony Richardson has finally turned the corner. Because this week they play Kentucky, a team that beat them last year. And Kentucky has high aspirations. They think they're going places. They think they're fixing to take up the mantle as the second best team in the East. But the thing is, I don't think they have Chris Rodriguez for the first 6 games. Now, they may have backed that up. I heard through the grapevine that they may back that up and they may try to get him into the season earlier, but I don't know if he's going to be able to make it back for this game. So we'll wait and we'll see. If they got Chris Rodriguez, then that changes things a bit. But I don't think they have him. So this is a game where Florida can really get their season off to an exponentially great start after a lot of people thought they were going to lose the first 2 games. So this is Anthony Richardson's time. Great game against Utah. Can he follow it up? We shall see. But he's my number 2 this week as far as Heisman's go. Number 1, this may surprise a lot of people, Stetson Bennett. It's time that people start recognizing that, yes, Stetson Bennett was a walk-on at Georgia. And yes, he don't have what you would consider the somewhat optics of what you consider a great quarterback. It's 5'11", 190, something like that. But there's been a lot of great quarterbacks under 6 foot. Drew Brees, Doug Flutie, the list goes on. So the reason why we need to start recognizing Stetson Bennett a little bit more is because the guy's coming on. And I don't care if he walked on, I don't care if he has the optics, because Mac Jones don't have the optics. Look at what he's doing at New England. Look at the man's stats. The stats say it all. The last 3 games that he's played in, Oregon, 25 of 31. That's 80% completion rate. 368 yards. Yeah, 80.6%. 2 touchdowns against Oregon. You're like, well, them Pac-12 defenses. But wait a minute. Dan Lanning was the defensive coordinator at Georgia last year. So if anybody would know Stetson Bennett and Georgia's offense, you would think it would be Dan Lanning, right? Well, it looks like it was the other way around. It looks like maybe that Georgia knew Dan Lanning more than Dan Lanning knew Georgia and Stetson Bennett, as evidenced by this. He done that to his former defensive coordinator. So that's a big mark. That's a big good mark for Stetson. In the national championship game, decent numbers, but they were playing to their defense in the national championship game because they made some adjustments from losing in the SEC title game to Alabama, which was a good thing for them because it worked out for him. He was 17 to 26, 224 yards, 2 touchdowns, but no mistakes. And they played to the defense. So the guy knows when to play to his defense. But still decent numbers. Then, in the SEC title game that he actually lost, he was 29 of 48, 340 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, he did have 2 picks in that game that probably attributed to the fact of them losing. But still, 340 yards and 3 touchdowns against Alabama, that's pretty damn good. You can even go back to when he played his cross-state rival Georgia Tech. He was 14 to 20, 255 yards and 4 touchdowns, and that was in 3 quarters. They took him out of the game against his cross-state rival and had 4 touchdowns against him already. So I think the time has come that I know people have been wanting to discount Stetson. They've been straw grasping to that. I'm guilty of it myself. As an Alabama fan, I've always said, Stetson Bennett's going to be the guy that ends up being your undoing. But it looks like Stetson Bennett is hell-bent on proving people wrong. And the last 3 or 4 games that he's played in, those numbers look like Heisman Trophy numbers. You can't take that away from him just because he doesn't have the optics or he doesn't have the frame or the mechanics that you desire. The point is he's getting the job done. And right now, for me, Stetson Bennett is the leading Heisman Trophy candidate. You guys and gals, tell me what you think. Drop your top 3 in the comment section. And also, there's a little heart down there. It says thanks. Click on that. Drop me a few dollars in the coffers, $2, $3, $5, whatever you can afford. Get us off the YouTube teat. And as always, KMCA to all the other teams. Class is now officially dismissed.